G'day everyone, I'm Jimmy and I'm going to give you the 10 ways to make money as a teenager while you're still at school, and that will get you money straight away. For those who are new to the channel, I'm Jimmy Mitchell and I went from a 9 to 5 with wife, kids, family, boat, car, everything, mortgage, to successful 7-figure digital agency, and I want to help others do the same thing. So if you want to get out of the 9 to 5 grind and into your own business, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Now, I made this video specifically because I get asked a lot by teenagers especially about Jimmy, how can I go from school directly into what you're doing, like an agency or a digital service-based business? And I think that it's a great rewarding career for anyone, but I wanted to make this video specifically for teenagers that are looking for ways to make money while they're at school, to make the best use of their time, and things that they can do that will get them a return straight away, as opposed to digital services that may take a bit of a lead time to get a return. Now, I've got a few prerequisites with this video. So I know there's a lot of videos out there that offer a lot of ideas, but don't give any actionable insights. I want to make sure that this video gives you guys actionable insights on how to go about doing this too. And I also want to make sure that these have minimal costs to start, because I know, as being a teenager once myself a long time ago, getting the capital to start these businesses can be tricky. So I thought about things you could potentially do that will require minimal costs to start. I also wanted to do things that give you hard skills that will help you if you want to, say, start an agency or start a business in the future. I also wanted to make sure they were based on things that you could do right now to make money, not something like drop shipping or creating content on YouTube. I explicitly ignored those in this case because they can take years and years to produce an income. I want to give you guys actionable ideas for starting businesses and starting little side hustles and things you can do after school that will get you a return straight away. Interestingly enough, a lot of these things I did as a teenager too, so I'm speaking from a bit of experience here. But hopefully, guys, this is just the spark for that idea that will help you get a little bit of extra income while you're at school, a bit of a job, so that when you are ready to start your business or start whatever you want to do after school, you've got a bit of a war chest to go ahead and do that with. So let's just get straight into it. But the first thing I want to talk about is reselling, specifically taking things off Facebook Marketplace and reselling them on places like eBay. I actually think that this could be one of the best potential opportunities for a teenager to do, because A, you can set your own hours, and B, there's a return on the amount of effort you put in. So for context, it's something that I've been doing since I was a teenager pretty much. My dad and I used to go to garage sales, or yard sales as they're called in the US, and we used to go around and buy things, and then we'd go and sell them on like Craigslist, things like that. Now that eBay's around and it exists, it's a lot easier to do. But basically, I have a wall right here, right in front of me, that has about $20,000 worth of DVDs on it. And I just take 10 or 12 a day and I list them on eBay. So let's talk about the nuts and bolts of how this would work as a teenager. If you don't have the initial upfront capital to buy a whole bunch of bulk DVDs and stuff like that, what I want you to do is just walk around your house. Sorry, mum, apologize to your mum and dad. Walk around your house. Look for things that haven't been used in a long time that you know potentially have value. Think of like board games, DVDs, old video game consoles. If you walk around your house right now, you'll see 10, 20 things that could be worth money. Hair dryers, hair curlers. So, you know, just go ahead and grab that stuff. Create an eBay account. Go and list this stuff on eBay. What this is going to do is it's going to give you that initial capital to start. And then once you've got like $200 or $300 behind you, then what you're going to do is you're going to go onto Marketplace and you're going to go and set some saved searches. Now, I personally just list DVDs and I make about $20,000 a year just listing DVDs on eBay. So how I go about that is I look for people that are selling like DVD collections for a couple of $100. So there may be like 800 DVDs for $200, right? And then what I do is I take each individual DVD and I go ahead and scan it, scan, and I pick out all the ones that are worth more than say $7.95, $8.95, because you've got to take into account shipping and things like that. So I take those DVDs and I take them out of that bundle. Then the leftovers, because you'll have 300 or 400 left, you go and list those straight back onto Marketplace for $100. It covers half of your cost straight away. So I think that reselling stuff off Marketplace onto other platforms is one of the best ways to make a decent side hustle after school income that ticks our boxes. You learn a lot of hard skills around communication and delivering and sales, because you've got to negotiate on prices of things, and very, very low capital to start, and you can do it right now and get a return pretty much straight away. So it ticks all of our boxes. So if you made $1,000 net profit when you're 15, by the time you get to your 18, 19, you'll have enough for either a car or enough to start an actual business. You'll have so much extra capital to start whatever the next thing is from this. Okay, so the second thing I would suggest you guys look at doing if you're a teenager that's looking for a bit of side income is pet sitting. Now, I don't hear a lot of people talking about pet sitting, but it's actually a really, really lucrative thing to do, and it's minimal risk to you and requires almost no capital to start. Just go and print out a bunch of flyers. Just call it Jimmy's Pet Sitting Service. And effectively what you would have to do is go to their house and feed their cat and feed their dog while they're on holidays. So you're not actually taking the pet and taking it to your house. You're making sure that the pet is alive. So when they come back from their holidays, the pet is still alive. You might play with the cat, play with the dog. But you print out a bunch of flyers, and then what you do is you just walk around the neighborhood and look for people that have pets. Go and drop the flyer in their mailbox, and you'll be amazed how many people are willing to do that. Now, why I really like this is because it ticks all the boxes, clearly, but it also scales quite well. Let's think about it, right? You may have 10 or 12 people that you pet sit regularly. There's a negligible increase in time because you're not having to physically look after the pet. You need to make sure it's fed. You might have to walk it walk the dog every now and again, or make sure the cat gets played with or what have you. But you could have like 10 or 15 people that you pet sit regularly, and that could be an extra $200-300 a month, $500 a month for you. It's a really, really good thing to start as a teenager to get you used to committing to people and make sure that you fulfill obligations, because you do have someone's pride. Like, a lot of people treat their pets as family, so you do have to make sure that you fulfill your commitment. You can't just not feed a cat or feed a dog, because the worst case scenario is someone comes back and their pet hasn't survived their holidays. So that's a really, really good thing that I would look at doing if I was a teenager again. I would be going and doing pet sitting. I never did this as a teenager. I kind of wish I did now, because I think you can make a lot of money doing it, and it's quite easy to do, and you can get an immediate return on this. So I think it's quite a good thing to look at doing. The next thing I would look at doing as a teenager that's looking for a bit of extra money, outside of school hours, is washing windows. I know a few people have spoken about this, and there's a reason why. The beauty about doing this is that the cost of startup may be a little bit higher than others, but your first job will generally pay for the equipment. So the way I would go about doing this, again, flyers, knock on doors. If you're not willing to hustle and hit the pavement and do stuff, then probably none of this will work. I actually did this as a teenager, and I made probably $100 a week washing windows. What I did is I just looked for people with dirty windows and just knocked on their door and said, "Can I clean your windows for you?" It's amazing how many people will say yes if you ask the question. But you're pleasantly surprised how polite and how civil people are if you are polite and civil to them. So if you knock on their door and go, "Look, I noticed your windows were dirty on the front. Would you want me to clean your windows for you?" A lot of people are not going to say, "No, go away, get off my porch." They're going to be like, "Oh, sure, what do you charge?" They'll be genuinely interested. As a teenager, when I did this, I actually made a pretty decent little income by doing this, and I could do it after school, and I mainly did it on the weekends. But it's a really good way to make some money, get you outdoors, and you get progressively better and better at cleaning windows. Your first couple of windows are going to suck. What I did back then, because there was no YouTube, is I went and found someone that did windows professionally, just asked if I could help them, and I learned how to clean windows. And yeah, eventually I had like 3 or 4 people that would just get me to clean their windows once a month, quite regularly. So that's a really, really good hustle, something to start as a teenager that you could be making a couple of $100 a month from. And the beauty about a lot of these things is they all stack on top of each other. There's nothing saying that you can't do window washing while doing eBay recently. You could realistically make a full-time income part-time by doing 3 or 4 of these things together. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So the next one is something that I wish I did as a teenager. This is like a unique opportunity. I hear no one talk about this. So one thing I've noticed here at My Online Guy in the agency is we talk to a lot of businesses that just haven't got Facebook set up properly, or their social media set up properly, or they haven't got their emails set up properly. Little technical things that as a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, you've never really learned how to do. Now, this could be a perfect side hustle, after school job, way to make money quickly as a teenager is go down to your local industrial area or commercial district and just knock on businesses' doors and go, "Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm just looking for ways to make money. Do you guys have any computers or any issues with your social media and stuff that that I could fix for you?" Right? And I guarantee at least one of those businesses will say, "Yeah, actually, we can't log into Facebook for some reason anymore." And then what you do, right, is you be honest and go, "Look, I don't know how to fix this now, but can I come back in an hour, or can I come back in 40 minutes? I'm going to find the answer and I'm going to fix this for you." The beauty about doing this, especially, is you can charge a lot for doing this. I know for a fact that a business will pay like $100 an hour, $120 an hour for this stuff. And you probably know how to do it, but you don't realize the value of that to someone that can't do that stuff. And a lot of the stuff, honestly, if you just Google it, you're going to find the answer. But you got to remember that businesses don't necessarily have the time to go and find the answers for this stuff. So that would be another thing I would suggest you do, because it ticks all the boxes again, and you can make money really quickly. And it's something you can do after school, after hours, on the weekend. And once people know you're doing it, I would get a business card made up or a flyer made up. Once people know you start doing it, it's really, really good from a referral standpoint. You're gonna get a lot of people tell other people, and then it kind of looks after itself. You can make a couple of $1,000s a month doing this, and it teaches you a lot of skills of dealing with businesses. And if you're gonna start an agency, that's a really important skill to have. So that's another way to make a decent little side hustle income at school quickly, is helping businesses with tech support. And it's, again, hitting the pavement and knocking on doors. Don't be afraid to do it, because the worst that someone's going to do is say no to you. The best that's going to happen is they say yes, and it's going to fundamentally change your life as a teenager. Another thing you can do as a teenager that could help you make some money quickly is selling things at school. It's like a little bit like reselling, but basically, going to a Walmart or a big Costco and buying like chocolate on bulk, or buying things on bulk, and then going to your school and selling them for a premium. There's a lot of videos on this. It's not something I ever did, but I did do something similar at school. So we used to have these things at school called odd bods, which are trading cards effectively, and they got given in packs of chips. And so basically what I did is I seen people were starting to get over these cards. I put all of the cards in a library bag and basically walked around the school and did a lucky dip, and said, if there's all these like rare ones in there, 50 cents a lucky dip. And I made hundreds of dollars doing that. And you can do the same thing. You can buy chocolate or candy from Walmart or Costco for 80 cents and sell it at your school for $2. Now, it doesn't sound like much. None of this stuff sounds like much money until you do it at scale. So you think about it, right? You sell 10 chocolate bars at $2 each. That's $20. Those chocolate bars that cost you $8, you've made $12. That's 120% return on investment, which is significant. You do that day in, day out, then people start coming to you. It's a really, really good way to make money. You do have the upfront cost of the candy initially, but you might do some of these other things and then add this one on top. It's not as strong as, say, reselling or helping with tech support or things like that, but it definitely is a good way to make money as a teenager quickly. Another thing that you could potentially do that's in the digital space, so it can be done in front of a computer, is actually doing transcribing. So one of the big things with businesses like myself is that we don't have the time to sit down and take notes for things. So like I go on Airtasker, for instance, which is where I would suggest you do it, and I actually pay people to take notes from interviews that I've done verbatim. So they would just listen to my notes and they would just type it out. Now, the beauty about being a teenager and growing up in the 21st century is that you're good at typing naturally. You typed all your life at school. So you can probably type faster than me, and it's a really, really good way to make money. You can make $25, $30 an hour just transcribing notes. And the beauty about it is it costs nothing to do. It costs nothing to start. So if we're looking for ways to have ways of making income as a teenager quickly with low costs, this is a really good way to do it. And it also gives you a hard skill, because you start to learn things about dealing with businesses when you have to sell yourself on something like Airtasker. You have to deliver at in a specific time period, and you have those commitments. So it can be a really good way to learn hard skills that will help you if you do decide to start a business when you leave schools. So this one here is actually, again, something that I did as a teenager, and it worked extremely well for me. It ties back to like cleaning windows, but I offered just general cleaning services. Now, I wouldn't go and clean people's houses or anything like that, but what I did do is boat cleaning and pool cleaning. So we live in an area where there was a lot of boats and a lot of pools. So basically what I did is I just walked around the neighborhood and I looked if people had boats. Now the beauty about boats, as opposed to washing cars, is boats always get salty. Now they're not necessarily dirty, but no one wants their boat covered in salt if they're going to use it. So you can charge a lot to clean a boat. And all you have to do is walk around the neighborhood with a flyer, look for anyone with a boat, and drop it in there. Again, the same principle as the window cleaning. Once you get one job, it pays for your equipment, and then everything else is just profit. And then let's say you don't necessarily have boats in your area. Pool cleaning is another way to do that. And what I would suggest you do with pool cleaning is just go on Google Maps and look at the satellite view and look for the houses in your area, in your neighborhood, that have pools. Go and buy the equipment or go and ask to use their equipment. A lot of the times they'll have equipment to clean the pool. They just don't do it themselves. Now, what you will run into when you do ask people about cleaning pools is they will probably be using someone already. I didn't see that as much with the boats, but I've definitely seen that with the pools. So what you can do is knock on the door and just offer to do it for free. And then if they like how you go about it, then maybe you can do something more regular. Put your neck out there and go, well, I provide a good service, and if I can show that to someone, then there's a good chance they're going to use me. What I would also do is when you finish cleaning that pool, let's say you knock on the door, they say, we're using someone already, and you go, well, look, can I just come and do it for free? You know, I'm just getting started, and you know, I'm happy to do it for free. If you want to use me after that on a more regular occurrence, so be it. When you do that, when you finish the pool, take them out there, show them the pool, show how much pride you have in it, and then also ask them if they know someone else with a pool. I guarantee you that person that you clean the pool for, if you did a good job, they will give you 1 or 2 other clients to go and talk to. Or you give them their flyer and ask next time they see them, can you give them their flyer? And I can tell you what happens as an adult that is exchanging time for money now, is you go to the barbecue or you go to a party and go, oh, look, I had this young kid, Jimmy, come and do my pool. He's a good kid. Here's his flyer. Just use him. You know, he's a local kid in the area. He just wants to make some money. I guarantee you will make a decent income by doing that. And the cost to getting into it is low. And I reckon if you knocked on, for every $10 you knock on, maybe one will want you to clean their pool. But it's a slow burn. Once you get 1 or 2 doing it, you're going to do them regularly. You could be making $500, $600, $700 a month just cleaning pools. And it's, what else are you going to be doing with your time, right? This is the big thing with this stuff, is it's a good use of your time. As you get older and you start to realize that actually, I don't have an infinite amount of time, you've got to look at ways of making the most of your time, because you start to realize as you make more money, time is more important than money. You know, as a teenager, you're probably thinking money is more important than time, and there's nothing wrong with that because you probably have more free time than, say, someone like myself. But as you start to make the money and start to get the things, you start to realize, well, it's all good and well having this $4,000 gaming PC. I don't get any time to use it anymore. Oh, it's all good and well having this boat. I don't have any time to use it anymore. So if you get into the mindset when you're young that your time is valuable and you want to make the most of that time, every time you have an opportunity to make money with that time, you need to make the most you can. It changes your mindset and you start to open up doors and opportunities, and you start to see this stuff that I've been talking about naturally. And that's a really, really important skill to have. So let's talk about the last one here. And the last one is becoming a referee. Now, not everyone can do this. Obviously, that's why I put it last, because it's not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone is skilled enough to become a referee. But let's say you're really good at basketball, or you're really good at baseball, or really good at soccer, or whatever. Go down and you ask if they need referees. You go and get the certification if you need one, but a lot of times you're refereeing junior games. Next thing, you're getting paid to referee, and you're getting paid to do something that you really enjoy. So you might get paid $20, $30 to referee a game of basketball, but you know, that's the beauty about things like basketball. It's done at night. It's not going to affect your schooling, and it's something that gives you a better return on your time at nighttime than say sitting on a computer playing Fortnite. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that, like I said, as you get older, you start to appreciate that time is not an infinite thing. But that could be a really good way to make money, as well as going and just talking to your local sports class, asking if they need referees, and then making a couple of $100 a month doing that. This is something I did as a teenager as well, as like with basketball. I would referee junior games and I used to get $10. You know, I might make $100 a month doing that, but you think about it, right? Like I said at the very start, a lot of this stuff stacks on top of each other, and because of that, you can actually do all these things together. You might make $100 an hour. You know, if you stacked 3 or 4, if you were to wash windows, wash boats, and wash pools, I guarantee you'll make $70 an hour doing that. You'll probably make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month doing that. Now, you can flip burgers at Burger King and make $3 an hour, or you could learn hard skills. You could get a return straight away, and you can start to learn how to deal with people properly and make a couple of $1,000s a month like this. And then it comes down to what you do with that money too. If you're going and buying, you know, new kicks, or, you know, just wasting it, don't do this. You know, don't make all this money just to go and blow it on things. Look at this stuff, like, because you think about it, right? All this stuff is hard work. Nothing here is really that easy. And I believe that anything worth doing, it takes time and effort. So I think if you're going to take the time and effort and energy to do one of these things or several of these things, don't just go and squander it on, you know, a new phone, unless it's going to get you a return. Save this money, save this money. I guarantee you that if you come into your later teenage years and early 20s with $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, you'll be in the 1% by the time you're 35 or 40. If you get into the mindset of saving money and working and getting a return on your time, by the time you get older and you have more opportunities, you're going to be so far ahead. So that would be my advice to you. Again, take it or leave it. But these are the 10 things I think you should be doing if you're a teenager looking for ways to make side income. And like I said, all of these things are things that you can make money straight away with. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want me to go into more detail of any of these specifically, I can make specific videos about every single one, because I really have experience with pretty much all of them. And if I don't, I want to interview people that have done this stuff too. So if you're doing this as a teenager, let me know. I'd love to interview you and just let me know how you've gone about it. But thanks you so much for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I will see you in the next video.